Hello YouTube, my name is Daniel and welcome back to another video on this Flutter messaging app series. In this video we're going to be creating the login screen and then testing the app. So we want to go to the login package and create a new folder called widgets. And here we want to create a new Dart file called login box. This will be a stateful widget. So this isn't going to take any parameters. So we just have an empty constructor, and then we just need to override the state. And then we're going to go ahead and create this class. So firstly we need to declare some controllers, similar to we did in the register screen, but this time we only need the email and password. Then we need to declare a method to check the current user, just to see if we already have a valid session. This is going to be an async function. Then we need to wrap this in a try catch. Then we need to get the auth user object. And we can get this from amplify.auth.getCurrentUser. And we just need to import Amplify and auth user. Now if that's successful, we're going to navigate to the chat screen. We're going to create this function in just a moment. And we're going to pass the user ID and the username, which will be the user's email. If that throws an auth exception, we're then just going to print out an error, just saying no user found. Then we're going to create the navigate to chat screen method, which is another asynchronous method. This is going to take a user ID and the username. Then we need to create both view models. So this one's going to be movie view model equals provider dot of movie list view model. We're going to pass the context, and then we need to set listen to false. Then we need to copy this twice. And then we need to copy this for the message view model, and then just import these classes here. And update this class, message list view model. Then we need to declare the stream of movies, because our chat screen will need that movie list. Then we need to select movie model.observe movies and import these libraries here. Then we need to use our navigator. And create a material page route. And in here we're going to create a navigation builder. And then we're going to return a change notifier provider. And for the create, it's going to be the message list view model. And the child will be the chat list screen. And we need to pass the user ID, the username, the movies, the message list view model, and the username. Just need to make sure these are in the correct order. So first it's username, then the movies, and then the view model. And there's a semicolon here, and that is our navigate to chat screen function. We then have another function to navigate to the register screen, so it's quite similar to this up here, so we're just going to copy and paste. This is going to be a void function, just going to put register, and navigator.push to import this library. Instead of returning the change notifier, we will return the register screen. Then we need a function to log in, so that will be feature void login. Then first we're just going to send a snack bar to let the user know that we're logging in. I think we just need to import view utils, to get rid of this error here. Then we need a try catch. Create a sign in result. Which will be called res. And that's going to await amplify.auth.signin. The username we're going to get from the email controller. And then the password is going to be from the password controller. Then we're going to set the state. Then we're going to check whether the sign-in was successful. And we want to run check current user. In our check current user feature, we will wait until we can get the current user, then navigate to the chat screen once we have the user ID and the username, because then we know we have the needed parameters to actually build that screen. Then if we get an exception during this, we're just going to show a snack bar. And the message for this will just be e.message. Now we can actually create the login box. So we need to override the build function. And we're going to return a safe area widget. And inside here we're going to have a column. And it's going to be similar to our register screen, so I'm just going to copy and paste this. So we're going to have our image and then our movie talk title here. And we need the username and the password. We don't need this if clause here, and we don't need the confirmation code controller, sorry. So we've got our email controller, our password controller, and we don't need this here. And that should be all good for that part. Then just after this last padding widget for the password, we need a text button. The style will be button style. The background color for this button will be red. The on pressed for this button will be login. And then this button will have a child, which will just be a text widget saying login. We just need to add the style as well, which will be text style, color, colors.white. Then we need to copy and paste this widget because we need this again for the register button. And this is going to be a grey button. The on pressed will be register, and the text will be register as well. And that's it for this widget here. We can now go ahead and create the login screen. And we're just missing a semicolon here to get rid of that error. So on the login package, we want to right click that and select new, Dart file, login, underscore screen, and this is going to be a stateful widget. And it's going to be no constructor, so we just need to override the state here. And then just create the class down the bottom. Then we just need to override the build function. And return a custom scaffold. Let's get rid of all of these here. The title will be movie talk. Then the array of widgets. Which will be an expanded widget, and the child is just going to be the login. And after the widget list, we just need null for the options and then false for the back button. And to get rid of that error, I just removed the title name parameter. You can name more if you want, or you can leave it empty, doesn't really matter. And then with this screen created, that's all of the widgets and screens created. Now we just need to update the main.dart file. So I'm going to get rid of pretty much everything in here and just start from scratch. So we've just got the main function here, which is just going to run our app. I'm just going to keep it called my app, but you can call it whatever you like. And I think we just need to run create the override here. And what we want actually is we want a stateful widget here, because the main screen will change state depending on whether we have a user already logged in or not. Then we just need to declare the state of this widget here. Then we want to press Ctrl.O, and we want to override init state, because we need to check whether Amplify is already configured or not, because we don't want to reconfigure it every time the app opens or gets redrawn or anything like that. So we want to run super dot init state here, and then we need to check if Amplify is not configured. So it's configured, and we just need to import Amplify here. Then we're going to create a function called configure Amplify. And after that, we want to set the state. And that function we're just going to create here. And this is going to be an async function. Now we need to declare our plugins for Amplify Auth and Data Store. So Amplify Auth Cognito, and it's going to be called Auth plugin equals Amplify Auth Cognito. And the second one for the data store, then we need to await this method here which will configure our plugins. So we need to add the Auth plugin, the data store plugin, and the Amplify API plugin. And what that plugin will do is handle the syncing from your local data store running on your machine to the data store in the cloud. And we just need to import these as well. And for this one, we also need to provide a model provider, which will be model provider.instance. And that is to provide the models to AWS Amplify, so the message.dart, movie, and user. Then just a semicolon here. Then we need a try and catch. And this is going to be await amplify.configure. And this is going to be amplify config. This file was created when we added Amplify into our project, so it's just on top of the main.dart file here. So amplify configuration. Then we need to catch this exception. So this exception is called Amplify already configured exception. And then we're just going to print a statement here for the log. Now that function is complete, we can go ahead and build the final widget. So you just need to override the build method here. We need to get rid of this const up here because the app is no longer a constant widget as it's stateful. And then we can return material app . The debug show checked mode banner will be false, so we no longer want the debug banner showing. The title will be movie talk. Theme will be theme data. Primary swatch will be colors.red. and the font family will be Open Sans, which is in our asset folder. Then we need to specify the home widget, which will be multi-provider. Providers, and then this is going to be 2 providers here. So change notifier provider. And then for the create, it will be the movie list view model. And then we can copy and paste this because we need the message list view model also. And then after this, just after we've done the providers here, we can specify a child, which will be our login screen. Now we can go back to the other screens and update the navigate to login screen logic. So if we go back to the register screen, and we created a function here called navigate to login, instead of return a container, we can now return a login screen. And the same for the chat list screen. So chat list underscore screen. And for this logout function, we want to return the login screen instead of the container. So I've just run the app. I've noticed the alignment isn't correct here. So I forgot to add the alignment just in the login box. So if you go to login box.dart, and then in this column here, we just need to add main axis alignment, which is main axis alignment.center, and then cross axis alignment.center also. Then if we reload the app, we can see it's now in the center. So I did notice another issue with sending messages. So this add message function in the message list view model, we need to pass in the movie ID. Before we wasn't passing this, and then it created blank messages in our DB. So I'll just show you these here. So we have these 2 messages that I was sending here. We have the timestamp, the message, but the movie ID is left blank. So in order to resolve that, we pass in the movie ID when we create the message. So I'm going to go ahead and register a user and see if this works. So we're going to click register. It comes to the register screen. And I'm just going to choose a dummy email. At gmail.com. And then just a password. And then click register. Okay, and we can see it's asking for the confirmation code, so I'm just going to get that from the email. Yep, it's come through to my email absolutely fine. And then we just click confirm. And then it's taken us back to the login screen, and it's just saying that we've been registered. So I'm now going to sign in. So we're just going to click login. So we've got login in. So now, when we're scrolling through the list, and we go to a movie, we can type in, so test 1, and then send the message, and then we can see our message appears in here. We can also see the timestamp. Then we can click on this button up here and see the movie details. We have the poster image here, we have the rating, and then the overview of the movie. And then when we go back, we can send another message if we want to. And then we can also see that this has been updated on the latest message. So now I'm going to send a message with another account into the Amazing Spider-Man chat room. We should see a message saying test 3. And we can see that's been updated here with the latest message. And if we click onto it, we can see that the message has popped up. Then we can reply to this. Send that through. I can see that's appeared on my other phone, and I'm just going to reply to it here. So we can see that replies come in, so we have real-time messaging. And then if we go back, we can see that the latest message on this film has also been updated here. So that's the app completely running, and we've got real-time messaging working for the latest message, and also the real-time messaging in the message list. And then if we want to log out of the app, we can just click this button here, and it's just going to say, are you sure? And then we're just going to select yes or no. And if you say yes, it will send you back to this screen here. So that's this series completed. If you have any questions, please post them down below in the comments. Please like the video and please